top 10 causes of death in the United States, Alzheimer's disease is the only one that cannot be prevented, cured, or slowed down.
News 18's Holly Campbell joins us now with a look at research and local resources for Alzheimer's patients. Holly.
Jeff, Gina, every 67 seconds, someone in the United States develops Alzheimer's. And at the same time, a family member takes on the role of caregiver. Barbara Maitland's husband of 25 years has Alzheimer's disease. For years, she was his caregiver. Now, Neil lives in a full-time memory care unit.
Neil, in my opinion, is at peace, he's safe, he seems happy, so that's good. So actually the ones that are suffering are ourselves.
In Indiana, there are 332,000 unpaid Alzheimer's caregivers who worked about 379 million hours last year. An estimated 40% of caregivers suffer from depression because of the stress and emotional toll.
This is Area 4 Information and Referral, returning your phone call.
Area 4 Information Specialist and Support Group Coordinator Kathy Fogelsong says establishing a support system is crucial.
I think it's imperative to reach out for help and support early so you can incorporate that early and be a caregiver for a long haul, because it can last several years, and it's one of the hardest things I've ever seen families go through.
Barbara says she found support in friends who would help with small tasks around their home.
Having people bring meals in was just phenomenal. I know that seems really simple, but not having to hassle with that was great.
Joyful Journey is a nonprofit organization opening an adult daycare to provide support for patients and caregivers. President Kathy Benner says the home-like setting is great for Alzheimer's patients.
Giving them purpose in life, giving them something to do during the day when they're maybe just kind of at a loss as to what's going on around them.
An estimated 110,000 Hoosiers have Alzheimer's. In 10 years, that number is expected to increase nearly 20%. That's an estimated 130,000 people with a disease that still baffles researchers.
There's nothing at all to alter the disease, to slow it down, to allow for recovery of what's been lost.
Assistant Professor of Medicinal Chemistry and Molecular Pharmacology at Purdue, Chris Roche, says there are two types of drugs given to Alzheimer's patients. The first improves brain cell function. The second blocks chemicals that are released in excess in the brains of people with Alzheimer's.
Neither of those two types of drugs works for very long, if they work at all. We're talking about maybe months for most patients.
Roche says researchers are working to find a way to identify Alzheimer's before the onset of symptoms.
Trying to find different components in the blood that would allow one to distinguish someone who is a higher risk for Alzheimer's disease later on as opposed to someone who doesn't.
Researchers are also looking at the role diabetes plays in Alzheimer's patients. A connection Roche says he hopes can shed more light on the disease.
I think it's important because we all know how important a health problem diabetes is, and if the two areas can synergize and work together, we may develop or move towards advances more rapidly in both areas.
With few treatment options, Barbara knows all too well how the story of Alzheimer's ends. But it's a story she says needs to be shared.
Neil and other Alzheimer's or dementia patients or residents are unable to speak for themselves. It's not a cute ending. It's not a kind ending. And that makes it tough.
A special thanks to the Maitlands for letting us share their family's story. For more information on a book Barbara credits for changing her outlook on her husband's disease, head to our website at WLFI.com. You'll also find a list of local resources for caregivers on our website. Holly Campbell, News 18.